Hello and welcome to BioBiz Buzz. I'm your host, Mike Ward, and I'm the Global Head of Life Sciences and Healthcare Thought Leadership at Clarivate, which is a multinational provider of data, insights, and intelligence that helps healthcare companies accelerate their innovation. In this episode, we're going to explore the dynamic and rapidly evolving global markets for treatments of erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. These conditions affect millions of men worldwide, and ED alone is projected to impact over 320 million men annually. Together, these markets are valued at more than $7 billion and are expected to grow significantly over the next decade. So what's driving this growth? Well, several factors are contributing to it. That includes an aging population, increasing prevalence of chronic conditions such as diabetes and hypertension, and additionally, groundbreaking advances in drug formulations, delivery systems, which are transforming the landscape of sexual health treatments. Concurrently, societal attitudes towards sexual health are also shifting. There's now reduced stigma, encouraging more men to actually seek help. So in this episode, we'll delve into the cutting edge of sexual health pharmaceuticals with Elin Trampe. She is the CEO of Dicot Pharma, which is a company based in Sweden. Dicot aims to revolutionize the treatment of both erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation through an innovative drug candidate, which is called LIB-01. With over 500 million men worldwide affected by these conditions, Dicot has the potential to redefine intimacy and improve the quality of life for millions. So Elin joins us to discuss the science behind LIB-01, the challenge faces, and also the future of this groundbreaking development. So Elin, you became CEO of Dicot in 2022 after serving as the COO. So, what drew you to this company, and how has your background shaped your leadership?
I got interested in Dicot because I early on saw the potential and the unique value of the drug candidate that we are working with. And they are addressing a global medical need in a field without real innovation the last 30 years almost. Everyone almost know about Viagra. It was launched 27 years ago. And since then, no new innovation has actually entered this market. So in this role at this company, I can really combine scientific innovation with a clear commercial mindset to bring this drug to market. And I think my experience from both large and small life science focusing on operational excellence and business development helps me to navigate in this role.
So LIB-01, it aims to outperform these sort of existing erectile dysfunction drugs. What makes it different?
Yeah, so LIB-01 have a new mode of action. So it's very distinct from the PD-5 inhibitor. It's not a PD-5 inhibitor. This is something completely new class of drug substance. And what we are really addressing is that with the current medication, actually 35% do not get the desired effect. There is also problems sometimes with disturbing side effects, and also the current on-demand treatment also requires you to plan your sexual activity, because often you should take this medication half an hour before, which take away the spontaneity. And actually there are studies saying that half of everyone that tries this medication, they stop taking the treatment. So that is really what we are addressing with a new novel mode of action. And also we can see a uniquely long duration of action with LIB-01. In our first clinical study that we have conducted, phase 1, we could get a clear efficacy signal where the efficacy lasted for at least 4 weeks. So that is very unique, could really make a huge difference for affected men and couples. What that would mean to have a treatment that you could take maybe monthly or bi-monthly, we will have to see where it ends, actually mean that you can sort of get the normal sex life back, if you want to put it like that. So very interesting.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that it sort of brings back the spontaneity you don't have had to actually sort of plan, next Thursday,
Mm,
we're going to
exactly.
engage. So you mentioned sort of the phase 1 trial that you've already done. Yeah, I believe that Dicot has recently initiated phase 2 trials. So what are you looking to investigate there?
Yeah, the phase 2A trial focusing then on erectile dysfunction is ongoing now. It's in full speed. It seeks to demonstrate statistically significant efficacy in improving erectile function. I mean, we really believe that LIB-01 could bring this unique long efficacy window again, which is very, very new in this field. So there's, of course, a big focus on the phase 2A trial now for our company. And besides that, we also already now planning for a 2B trial. We are also collaborating with a lot of key opinion leaders and also have interaction with the FDA and EMA to ensure alignment on study design and so on for future US trials, for example. And we also have very interesting research on the potential that LIB-01 might be able also to affect premature ejaculation that you addressed in your introduction there, based on research from the founder of Dicot Pharma, where he could see the effect on premature ejaculation as well. And also last year, within the framework of the LIB-01 research program, we got data on showing that it might also affect metabolic indications, where like obesity, diabetes type 2, etc., are examples of metabolic diseases. So we have also initiated a preclinical program.
So you mentioned, getting this into the market. What is in fact your business model? Are you sort of looking to sort of take this all the way to the market yourselves, or are you going to do it in partnership with others?
Our business models involve to evaluate industrial partnerships to seek strategic alliances for out-licensing. It could be co-development or only rights to commercialize LIB-01. So that is an important part of our business model. And besides industrial partnership, also like financial partnerships to bring this drug to the global market. Yeah.
So what financial partnerships in terms of seeking capital to help you fund your own work?
I mean, both these tracks are an important part in the financial strategy. Today, we are a listed company. We are listed on Nasdaq First North. And that is how we also have sort of funded the company up until today. And we have succeeded very well in that. So we see a huge interest from investors. So the latest, we did a rights issue last year that was actually oversubscribed, stood out in today's financial climate. So yeah, but continue to evaluate both an industrial and financial partnerships is an important part for us.
So you mentioned that it's a sort of a novel mechanism of action that is different from the sort of the PDE5 of Viagra or Cialis.
Right.
What does your IP look like in this space, and what do you intend to do, or what do you need to do to sort of demonstrate further that this is in fact a novel mechanism of action that should be taken more notice of?
So in terms of the IP situation, we are in a good position. We currently have IP protection up until 2042. And we also have several patent applications to be able to extend that and to broadening. And then, sorry, you also had a question on, there were two questions in one. The heading was on the IP, and then you said,
yes, in terms of what else do you need to demonstrate to convince both the regulators but also clinicians who would maybe prescribe this medicine?
Mm-hmm. I mean, we are now conducting a full clinical program with everything that comes with it, so to say. We are conducting a lot of research regarding the mode of action to be able to say exactly what processes are involved in the body. And that is, of course, very interesting research. It's like we are opening a new door to a new field in regards to erectile dysfunction, I would say. So Of course, there are, besides the pure clinical trials, a lot of other R&D ongoing to understand this substance and how it affects the erectile function more. So I can come back to that.
And to the point of sort of you're convincing other stakeholders, I mean, sexual health does still carry a stigma. So how is Dicot planning to sort of address this in sort of the outreach to, let's say, the clinicians or even maybe patients?
I think overall, to reduce stigma, I think awareness of the problem and communication around sexual dysfunction is key. And also to talk about how common it is. I mean, looking at men above 40 years, actually 52% of all men experience some type of erectile dysfunction. So it's very common. I think to talk about this will reduce the stigma itself. We try to be a voice, but we have, of course, limited resources. But at least in our home market in Sweden and so on, we try to address this in several ways. We're also very active on scientific conferences, etc., to be able to explain our research and what we are doing. But we also see that public health initiatives, mainly in Europe and North America, also normalize this discussion and encouraging men to seek help. So it's nothing that we will solve this year, but it will be a continuous development, I think. But we see good progress. More and more men are seeking help for this issue. And an important factor there also is the availability of digital healthcare providers, which also makes it for some a little bit more easy to seek help.
And I mean, you mentioned that you're a publicly listed company, so investors are always looking for sort of milestones. So in the near term, what sort of news flow should we be listening out for from Dicot?
But I think I've talked about the phase 2A trial, which is a sort of proof of concept trial, which is, of course, one key thing there. But then I will also then highlight again the work we are doing to assess, to broadening the pipeline with the other indications. Also the active work we are doing in terms of evaluating pharma industrial partnerships, etc. So there are many things happening in the company.
Great. Well, look, this concludes our time for today, Elin. So I want to thank you for sharing Dicot's important work. I also would like to thank our listeners for joining us as we explored the sort of exciting developments in the treatment for both erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. Clearly, this groundbreaking drug candidate promises longer lasting effects and fewer side effects, which could probably will certainly enhance, if not sort of revolutionize, the approach to the treatment of sexual health issues. So as we look to the future, it's evident that advances in pharmaceuticals and biotech will continue to be crucial in enhancing patient outcomes. And with the development of LIB-01 and other emerging treatments, the possibility of more effective and accessible healthcare is clearly on the horizon. So we hope this episode has offered valuable insights into the current status and future potential treatments of ED and PE. And if you have any questions or topics that you would discuss in future episodes at BioBiz Buzz, please reach out to us. To stay updated, upcoming editions of BioBiz Buzz, follow our LinkedIn page where we will be posting alerts around new episode releases. So in closing, I'd like to thank Elin once again for joining me. I'm Mike Ward, and I hope you'll join me for a future episode of BioBiz Buzz. Goodbye.